Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us on this remote session. I'm Robin Ruddock from Mountainside Environmental Solutions, or MS Enviro. We're a leader in non-toxic, harm-reducing, high-performance products for industries like mining, energy, construction, and forestry. Over the next 10 minutes or so, I'll share how our four specialized verticals help industries meet mandatory environmental requirements near eco-sensitive areas and infrastructure, protecting the environment and their investments. Before we explore our solutions, let's look at why they're needed now more than ever. Alberta's industries operate in beautiful but fragile ecosystems. Think oil sands near wetlands, or construction sites by rivers, or the vast network of paved and unpaved roads that connect communities. And so mandatory regulations under the Environmental Protection and Enhancement Act, the Water Act, the Alberta Energy Regulator, and federal SEPA demand pretty strict protections across all industries to avoid spills, contamination, corrosion, and chemicals of concern. So there's a challenge for industries to balance their activities and the associated risks. For example, chloride-based products, road salts, corrode infrastructure like the 2024 Calgary water main break that cost millions due to saltwater infiltration. More on that in a moment. Dust and unstable roads harm air quality and habitats, while spills from vehicles and equipment across all sectors can contaminate water and soil. These risks lead to fines, shutdowns, and ESG scrutiny. So our products address these challenges head on, mitigating or eliminating the problem and ensuring compliance. So how do we go about solving these issues? Let's walk through our four segments, each designed for performance and environmental compliance. So that means getting the job done, but doing less harm to the environment, and often saving money in the process. First, because winter is on the way, let's look at de-icing. De-icing for winter operations is critical across almost every industry, mining, energy, forestry, drilling, construction, and of course, municipal roads and the transportation infrastructure. But chlorides like calcium chloride and magnesium chloride are widely used in both liquid and granular formats to prevent the formation of ice on roads and equipment. However, chlorides can and do accumulate, leading to serious negative impacts on ecosystems, the environment, and infrastructure. As an example, the 2024 Bears Paw water main break was directly linked to road de-icing practices, which caused chloride levels to accumulate far beyond typical concentrations. This was categorized as a surprise, despite the large body of research demonstrating that cumulative effects of road salts conclusively do harm the environment and damage infrastructure. Well, we have multiple solutions that are non-chloride or reduced chloride, non-toxic, fast-acting, and long-lasting. Our CFB33 is a clear non-corrosive de-icer designed for safe winter maintenance. Our EcoThaw is a powerful de-icer that can be blended to meet specific needs. And our organic melt comes in both liquid and granular formats as a less corrosive alternative to traditional road salts. Switching gears now to dust control. First, why control dust? Controlling dust in mining, forestry, transportation, oil and gas, and construction is crucial for multiple reasons. Primarily, it safeguards worker health by reducing inhalation of harmful particulate like silica, which leads to silicosis or even lung cancer. Enhanced visibility from dust suppression minimizes accidents, improving safety on site with heavy machinery. And environmentally, it prevents soil erosion, water contamination, and air pollution, protecting nearby communities and ecosystems. So compliance with regulations avoids fines and shutdowns while reducing equipment wear and tear, extending machinery life, and boosts productivity. Overall, an effective dust management plan fosters sustainable operations, lowers costs, and promotes long-term industry viability. Unfortunately, many dust control solutions are, again, chloride-based. And so we're deploying so much of this chemical year-round that is causing a serious issue, affecting surface water, groundwater, soil, and again, damaging infrastructure in the process. Well, we have a solution. Our dust blocker product is highly effective, long-lasting, durable. It actually conserves water and fuel. It's non-toxic, it's non-corrosive, chloride-free, and used globally. A lot of the cost savings come through improved road surface and conserving fuel and water, reducing the need to grade treated roads. So overall, the maintenance cost on a well-maintained dust-free road actually pays for itself. Some of the biggest miners in the world use our dust control solutions. Here's just a few examples. Highland Valley Copper, Teck Property, uses it on access roads, light vehicle roads. Bruce Jack in northern BC uses it on access roads, camp areas, and helipads. New Afton Mine by New Gold uses it on their underground roads, and Seabridge Gold is using it at their camps and internal roads. Much like coal operations in Alberta, EVR Glencore at all three of their locations uses our dust blocker for a variety of applications: access internal roads, light duty haul road, and tailings piles. Shifting gears again now to road stabilization, also a very important aspect of forestry, mining, energy, oil and gas, maintaining these roads. Road stabilization in mining for stable haul roads, access roads to energy, logging roads for forestry, drilling and site access, construction, obviously right-of-way and temporary roads. And then, of course, municipal roads that may not be fully paved. Our solution is an environmentally friendly organic soil stabilizer that actually binds the particulate and the base material of roads to significantly reduce long-term maintenance cost, reduction in the material costs to build that road, and a better road, so rolling resistance. Overall, it's not just the cost of building the road, it's the maintenance package that comes with maintaining these huge stretches of road. Our road stabilizer product is, again, used globally, vastly reduces the rolling resistance, swell potential, increases the CBR, the California bearing ratio, up to 300%, and also can offset some carbon emissions because vehicles will have a more efficient road to drive on. In Alberta, we see a huge opportunity with these large stretches of unpaved roads to reduce costs and improve our transportation corridors. Finally, our fourth vertical, shifting to talking about lubricants. Well, we all know we use and produce a lot of oil, not just in our daily lives, maintaining our vehicles and so on, but in construction, mining, forestry, essentially almost every industry that operates machinery. So when spills do happen, they inevitably end up in water, rivers, lakes, and the ground itself, causing significant harm to the environment and ecosystems. Mineral oil spills in these industries are a huge problem. They can cost tens of millions to clean up and can mean large fines and shutdowns to the companies responsible for the spill. In the news, we hear a lot about the damage done to the environment by the leaking of oils into landscapes and waterways, which doesn't just result in the devastation of the local area, but also huge remediation costs for the companies and communities involved in the cleanup. In Alberta, oil spills are primarily regulated by the EPEA, which requires the reporting of any substance release that could harm the environment. So when a spill or release does occur, there's the initial immediate report, which contains comments about any adverse effects. Then a report to Alberta Environment and Parks, followed by a more detailed written report, then containment and cleanup of the actual spill. And if regulations are violated, the AER can take enforcement actions, including fines and other penalties. So in Alberta, biodegradable lubricants are already typically required or recommended in environmentally sensitive areas, particularly near water bodies and for certain types of equipment. In mining, agriculture, and forestry, where there's a high risk of leaks or spills, equipment often requires the use of biodegradable lubricants. So in these scenarios, what is acceptable in Alberta? Environmentally acceptable lubricants that have low toxicity and low environmental impact, Ready biodegradable, that means they biodegrade greater than 60% in under 28 days, and non-bioaccumulative, meaning they don't persist in the environment. And they should be free of toxic additives. And finally, there should be a full range of hydraulic fluids, greases, and lubricants for specific pieces of equipment that do this sort of eco-sensitive work. Again, these biodegradable options are available. Our biodegradable lubricants are spill safe, meaning they break down naturally without harming the environment. They contain no traces of hydrocarbons and will readily biodegrade. They also tend to perform better than mineral-based options, extending equipment life and reducing downtime. So these are particularly well suited to well drillers, geotechnical drilling or monitoring wells, really any work being done in eco-sensitive areas where spills must be avoided, and the fines of not controlling spills are huge. So for Alberta's drilling and mining projects, especially in protected areas, we offer solutions that protect both the environment and equipment, all with the required certifications. And as proof that biodegradable lubricants, greases, and fluids can absolutely meet the requirements of heavy equipment performing under extreme conditions, let's take a quick look at Eldorado Gold. Starting in 2019, this mine started the process of converting its entire fleet to biodegradable oils, both for performance and to reduce their environmental footprint, but also as a way to alleviate the very costly response to accidental spills. Following that, they ensured that all of the subcontractors on site also comply with their mandate to use biodegradables wherever possible. So in conclusion, we think there's significant regulatory alignment with Alberta's policies, meeting regulatory requirements on air quality, water quality, and spill response compliance. Our products support Alberta's 2025 to 2028 environmental framework that emphasizes sustainability, innovation, and best practices to reduce environmental impact. And so we see a growing market opportunity as stricter air and water regulations create demand for less harmful solutions, especially in construction, municipal road maintenance, mining, and oil sands sectors. Thank you very much, everybody, today. And for more information, please visit ms-enviro.com.
Bravo, Robin. Bravo. Well done.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Catherine.
Good job.
Yeah,
Good job.
absolutely. Thank you. Terry, do you have any comments to close?
I can't add much to what Robin has said here this morning. He does an amazing job, and you know, we're just happy to be leading the marketplace and in that space of the environmental sustainability and stewardship of, you know, our waters and lands. And so we look forward to what's happening in Alberta, and we appreciate the opportunity here at with the Alberta Enterprise. And so thank you for having us this morning.
Thank you both. Really appreciate you. And thank you for choosing Alberta for your expansion, and in particular, the Edmonton and Leduc area as a start. So looking forward to your further expansion. Well done.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
I'll mention quickly that last week's event was, I think, great for advancing some of these topics, the meeting with the deputy ministers. So, you know, thanks to the AEG for coordinating such high-level advocacy opportunities.